So this ayah, some ulama, they used it to refer to the Quran. So then they say you cannot touch the Quran. But indeed it is referring to al-lawhil mahfuz, not to this Quran. Understand? Though, from the adab and the manners, when you want to read the Quran, when you want to touch it, take wudu, no problem. But it doesn't reach the extent or the level of that it is haram. Understand? Yes, it is better, recommended. Plus there are some narrations actually explicitly saying that you cannot touch the Quran when you don't have wudu, or if you have what we call major hadath, major state of impurity, like after sexual intercourse or after menses or postnatal bleeding, things like that. But for the minor hadath, which means defecation, urination, okay, there is no explicit evidence that says sound authentic. There are explicit narrations, but they are not authentic. But also, for the layman, when you hear these issues between the ulama, that only when you have wudu you can touch the Quran, it's better for you always, and this is no doubt recommended, the best, take wudu and then you read the Quran, because there are adab and manners for reading the Quran. You take wudu, you brush your teeth, you face the qibla, you put the Quran on the stand, things like that. So these are manners and adab. We Muslims, we stick to them, because the book of Allah Azza wa Jal is not like any book. So you have to show this respect to the book of Allah. For instance, you cannot take the Quran and sleep like this or read like any other book. This is not the way. So you have to show and respect the Quran and have manners when you are reading the Quran. That's why Ikrimah radiallahu anhu used to kiss the Quran, kissing the Quran, and said, this is the word of my Rabb, kalamu Rabbi, kalamu Rabbi. Ikrimah used to do that. You understand? So now if someone, for instance, kissed the Quran, we cannot say this is bid'ah. Understand? Chapter number 31. Bismillah wa salatu salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man wala man ittaba'a hudahu ila yawmiddin, amma ba'd. Allah said, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, because the title is love for Allah, al-hubbu fillah. So you love for Allah. And love are four types. The hubb, the love, are four types. One type of love is ibadah. First one is ibadah. Worshipful love. Worshipful love. Hubbu ibadah. So this type of love considered to be an act of worship. And that is to love Allah and to love His Messenger. Understand? So loving Allah, loving the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, loving the Muslims is ibadah. Another type of love is shirk. Polytheistic love. Polytheistic love. This type of love is shirk love. That is to love the idols. Loving the idols. Loving false objects. So this type of love is shirk. Third type, haram. Prohibited love. Another type of love is prohibited. Like loving music. Loving the haram stuff. You love music. You love movies. So this type of love is haram. Are you following? The fourth type, natural love. The natural love, this is hub fitri, natural love. Like for instance, You love your children. You love your mother. You love your father. You love yourself. This is something natural. You love your wife. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ, they asked him, whom do you love most from among your wives? He said, Aisha. I love Aisha more than anyone. And the Sahaba, they knew that. So if one of them wants to give him gift, he would wait until the day of Aisha. So the day of Aisha radiallahu anha is the day of gifts, presents. And he was asked, whom do you love most from among the men? He said, her father, Abu Bakr. So the love is something natural, something natural. So this is the fourth type, okay? So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَتَّخِذُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا يُحِبُّونَهُمْ كَحُبِّ اللَّهِ. And of mankind are some who take for worship others besides Allah as rivals to Allah. They love them as they love Allah. They love them as they love Allah. So which type of love is this? Shirk love. Sisters, are you following? It is shirk because they love the idols as they love Allah. They make their love for the idols exactly like their love for Allah Azza wa Jal. So this is shirk. You understand? Also Allah said, قل إن كان آباؤكم وأبناؤكم وإخوانكم وأزواجكم وعشيرتكم وأموال اقترفتموها وتجارة تخشون كسادها ومساكن ترضونها أحب إليكم من الله ورسوله وجهاد في سبيله فتربصوا حتى يأتي الله بأمره والله لا يهدي القوم الفاسقين. Say, if your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your wives, your kindred, the wealth that you have gained, the commerce in which you fear decline, and the dwellings in which you delight, are dearer to you than Allah and His Messenger, and striving hard and fighting in His cause, then wait until Allah brings about His decision, that is the atonement. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala subhanahu wa ta'ala is threatening us. So He's threatening the believers that these things, your fathers, your parents, your wealth, your kindred, all these should not become obstacle in the way. You should love me. You should obey me. That's why لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. There is no obedience for any human being if that obedience will involve disobedience or lead to the disobedience of Allah. Are you following? For instance, if your parents, they ask you to do something haram, you don't obey them. If your wife asks you to shave your beard, should you obey her? No. It's haram. It's a sin. So you don't obey anyone and please someone and displease Allah. And displease Allah Azza wa Jalla. So always we please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if someone asks us to do something, it involves the disobedience or involves any sin and brings Allah's anger on us, we don't obey that person. No. So our obedience to other than Allah is conditional. Is conditional. If it involves Anything haram? No. But if no haram is there, fine. If a husband asks his wife to remove her hijab, should she obey him? No. Even if that is going to lead to the talaq. Said, okay, talaq, talaq. I don't want you. And Allah will substitute and send, inshallah, a pious husband better than you. But I am not going to remove my hijab. Understand? So these are, I'm not ready to disobey my Lord and obey you. So you obey your husband as long as he doesn't ask you to disobey Allah. Is this clear? That's why in one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he sent a group of the Sahaba, and they have a leader.